What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell to stay informed. Things are looking all around good at the moment and we're seeing a lot of positive reactions in the overall market, and this is leading to a lot of different cause and effects playing out, let's say. And part of that cause and effect is definitely going to be a possible price rally, and this, from my perspective, isn't something that's going to happen immediately. As we've gone over here on the channel previously, we know that SHIB didn't rally instantly off of that 50% circulating supply burn. Instead, we saw a long duration of stabilization, which eventually led to a 1,150% breakout. So seeing articles like this isn't too far-fetched at this moment in time. LUNC has been held back for a long duration, and this is now a point when we have a story, we have a narrative, we have actual things that are going on. And if we had said to ourselves at the very beginning of all of this that TFL was going to go through and burn all of their Terra Classic assets, people would have laughed at us. If we had said to everybody at the beginning Binance would be burning every month like we did, we would be seen as a tinfoil hat specialist. Well, the difference is here on the channel, we provide very good data which leads to very good outcomes, and we have seen TFL begin to initiate all of these burns. So from my perspective, this is huge. This further confirms everything that we've been going through here on the channel. So we've seen a lot of burning going on today, and the transactions that are showing up on the Finder are not quite complete because you've got multi transactions buried in here. So we're not seeing a lot of the coins showing up. What you actually need to do is go to StakeBin and take a look at that supply change on the day. So what we're seeing is around 618 million Luna Classic coins. And if I just flick over here to the USTC side, around 39 million. This is just the beginning, and they've only burned a small amount. You can imagine how many seed phrases they're actually dealing with. Let's go ahead and take a look at this wallet list and see what exactly has burned. And what we're looking at is around 50% of those wallets. And although Chris did mention they wouldn't bother with any dust, it seems like they have been bothering specifically with dust today. And what this tells me is they've got a list and they're going in and they're recovering each and every wallet, which is a tiresome process. I must admit it's tiresome keeping this data packet up to date, so I can understand how TFL feels and that this could be spread over numerous days. So as we can see, there are a significant amount of wallets that have actually burned, and going through, scrolling down, it's about 50% from my perspective. I'm not going to be doing a total tally until all of this burning is complete in regards to this list. It's really important we don't get ahead of ourselves right now and just stick to what we know. Something to point out here is two wallets that are listed inside the bankruptcy estate, being the LFG assets, have actually been burned, but these wallets both pertain to dust. But this does signal to us that these other LFG assets are definitely going to burn. So when we're looking at what remains, it's still a significant amount, but what everybody here needs to understand in regards to this list is Shuttlebridge, Mira, and Anchor are not included. So if we just swipe over quickly here and take a specific look at those assets, it is a considerable portion of what is set to burn. We know that on the 30th of October, the Shuttlebridge will be shut down and any remaining assets will burn. This leaves Anchor and Mira Protocol for us as a community to deal with. And as everybody knows, I've gone through and I have dealt with that side of things. It's actually quite easy to track these LFG governance wallets because they're all showing up as top burners. So if we just flick over here quickly, we can see it's holding from 13th to 17th position, and each wallet has been marked with LFG governance. And like I said, this is likely to prevent anybody else claiming the wallets, claiming the burns, or just doing anything malicious with what they're putting forward. And it's the same here over on USTC as well. We can see they're holding the 14th to 18th top positions for USTC burned. And it's just the very beginning. We've not seen the Shuttlebridge burn yet. We've not seen them go through and start destroying all of these wallets. We've still not found out what's held in those CEX wallets that are listed, but are missing the memos. Not only do we have a confirmed burning narrative and story from TFL, but we've also got some sense of mystery, some level of suspense when it comes to this, what's held in these CEX wallets. And we just won't know until they go through and perform those burns. It's been amazing this past week going through, breaking down all of the court documents and figuring out that all of this was in fact going to happen. And then seeing all of this confirmation today is just even better for myself. From my perspective, this is just a small part that validators should play in the community, and they should be actionable. They should be able to not only talk about the issues in hand, but provide solutions. And if you're not providing solutions, well, you're just moaning about the problems and not doing anything. And inherently, you just become part of the problem at that point. When it comes down to what we can actually do on this blockchain right now, we can destroy the Mirror and Anchor protocol assets, and it all comes down to a decentralized governance decision. What I'm not seeing is a lot of scrutiny on these two proposals. We're not seeing a lot of discussion around it. And from my perspective, this is really good, because people are not moaning. And if people are not commenting on it, they're agreeing with it at this point. And there's just no backlash. We're not seeing anything coming up on the Luna side. We're not seeing anything from TFL. So I would say we're in a position where we should just go ahead now and propose these, get these up, and let the validators and community vote on these two proposals for real. And things become more interesting at this point. People pay more attention to it. We have so many things that always just remain in the discussion phase. Things will get a lot more interesting once they're up and running. Question I keep getting asked at the moment is, how successful do I believe these two proposals would be? And what I begin to look at is Risk Harbor and that whole situation, and how little information there was in regards to those funds, and how we didn't really ever get a true nod from Risk Harbor. It was a very strange situation, and there was a lot of political debate with those funds. There was people who were very against it, and we're just not seeing this with these two proposals. So what I think is, a lot of people are already in the same boat when it comes down to the designation of these funds. We've gone through all of the court documents. We've provided a substantial amount of data with these two proposals, and it's not just us going, trust me, bro, we can migrate these and they can burn. We've provided a good amount of information. Everything that is relevant to those two protocols is provided there. And once these two proposals go up, the whole thing is fully in motion. When we're talking about percentages of these funds, you're talking about almost 50% of the circulating USTC supply. And an end result from all of this is going to be Binance becoming the largest, and I mean the largest, custodial USTC holder. And this isn't something that should be brushed off. This is something everybody needs to pay attention to going forward, because the Binance narrative we've spoken about is that they would somehow end up with the majority of the supply. Well, they're going to end up with the majority of the supply. So what does that leave them in a position to do? Well, they could just burn half of it. They could burn half of it and we could all prosper, including themselves. Considering this list would be burnt at that point, it's going to leave us in the realm of possibles. And this is so bullish. It's something I'm even more excited for than what's currently going on. Is what is Binance going to do as an end result of all of this? There's some bigger plan going on. And if I was part of Binance's legal team, I would have known this would have been the end result. I would have known because of my past experience in the legal sector. So I would have started planning for it. And the way you plan for this is by accumulating, getting all of the users inside USTC and LUNC to come to Binance and trade. And we've seen that. Either Binance is the biggest holder or Binance has the most holders on their exchange. And this is why I refer to Binance as the biggest custodial holder. USTC is not quite the same as LUNC, and the order books are really not that big. The majority of USTC actually moved from on-chain to CEXs, where people were just selling it at almost a 90% loss. Some people sold it at a 99% loss. There's a podcast here on the channel with Connor Kenny, and he goes through how he lost almost 50% of his holdings selling his UST at a substantial loss. So we know there is a high possible chance that Binance, being that largest custodial holder of USTC, actually holds that USTC and that it was sold back to that exchange during the crash. Only time's going to tell what's going to happen with Binance. As we get closer, more of the puzzle does begin to reveal itself, and we'll just have to keep tracking it, reporting on it, and bringing it to you folks here on the channel and over on X. So I really appreciate you all tuning in today. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Shoo!